My narcissistic wife vanished without a trace after a wellness retreat. 5 years later, she ambushed me with a massive medical crisis, so I systematically annihilated her last hope. We had been married for 4 years when she booked a 10-day silent meditation retreat in Sedona, Arizona. I didn't think anything of it. She loved that holistic crystal stuff. I dropped her off at O'Hare's Terminal 3 at 4:15 a.m., kissed her forehead, and paid her baggage fee. She texted me a picture of the red rocks when she arrived. That was it. On day 11, she didn't come home. I called her phone 80 times, straight to voicemail. I called the retreat center. They said she checked out early on day 3. I filed a missing persons report. The Arizona State Police found her rented Jeep Wrangler abandoned near a remote hiking trail. The next 2 years were a waking nightmare. I completely unraveled. I dropped 25 pounds, stopped shaving, and nearly lost my job as a commercial underwriter. I drained $42,000 from my $401k to hire an elite search and rescue contractor. We ran drone grids over the canyons for weeks. Her father had a mild cardiac event from the sheer stress of the unknown. I spent Thanksgiving sleeping on the floor of her childhood bedroom, sobbing with her mother. The detectives eventually told me she likely slipped and fell into a crevasse, and her body might never be recovered. It took 3 years of intensive EMDR therapy to stop flinching every time my phone rang. But I survived. I sold our townhouse in Evanston, relocated to downtown Chicago, and clawed my way up to vice president of a major logistics firm. I built a titanium life. Then, last Thursday at 1:30 p.m., I walked out of a client lunch at Morton's Steakhouse, and someone grabbed my elbow. I turned around. It was her. She was thinner, pale, wearing a cheap trench coat, but it was absolutely her. "Hey, Mark," she whispered, looking around nervously. "I know this is shocking, but I need you to listen." My lungs seized. I stared at the woman I had mourned for 5 years. I backed away, my voice barely a rasp. "What are you doing? Where have you been?" She crossed her arms, looking more inconvenienced than remorseful. "I left because I was suffocating, okay? I met a spiritual guide online. We moved to an off-grid compound in Costa Rica. I needed to find my true frequency. You were always so obsessed with mortgages and corporate ladders. My brain could barely process the audacity. You faked your death to live in a jungle?" She rolled her eyes. "I didn't fake my death. I just didn't leave a forwarding address. But listen, the compound didn't work out. I got sick, really sick." She pulled a thick medical folder from her tote bag. "I have aggressive late-stage Lyme disease with neurological complications. The holistic treatments failed. My guide kicked me out. I need an experimental stem cell therapy in Munich. It costs $180,000. Since we're still legally married, I need you to add me back to your executive platinum health insurance immediately, and maybe front the travel costs." I started laughing, a deep, hollow laugh right there on the Chicago pavement. This woman destroyed her parents' health, drained my life savings, and let me mourn her for half a decade, only to crawl back demanding my corporate benefits. "You let your father have a heart attack over a spiritual frequency," I said, my voice dropping to a dead calm. "I spent 40 grand looking for your corpse." She scowled. "Don't guilt trip me. I'm legally your wife, Mark. You have a duty of care." I smiled coldly. "Actually, I don't." She frowned. "What do you mean?" I stepped closer. "You've been gone for 5 years. In the state of Illinois, that is long enough to petition the courts. I had you legally declared dead in absentia 18 months ago. Our marriage is dissolved. Your social security number is flagged. You don't exist, and you certainly don't get my health insurance." The blood drained from her face. She started screaming right there on the sidewalk, threatening to call the police and prove she was alive. I told her to go ahead. Faking a disappearance and causing massive search expenditures might just land her in federal prison for fraud. I hailed a cab and left her standing in the rain. Yesterday, her brother blew up my phone. She had showed up at their house, expecting a tearful reunion and a blank check. Instead, her parents were horrified by the truth. Her brother sent me a desperate voice note, saying she was deteriorating rapidly and begging me to just pay for the Munich clinic out of the goodness of my heart, since I make mid-six figures now. I deleted the audio file without replying. The man she married 6 years ago would have emptied his bank accounts to save her, but that man died searching for her in an Arizona canyon. The man who came back isn't going to spend a single dime on a ghost.